All right, everybody, we're back. Thank you for joining us on the Malapert Smarks Wrestling Podcast. I know you've missed us. We've been recording our shows on different days this past couple weeks, so if that's thrown you guys off on your work schedule, we apologize. But we are here, and we're going to talk about wrestling since July 21st. That was the last show that we didn't cover was SmackDown, so that's where we're going to start. That was over a week ago now. Um, this is what we should have started off last week's show with, but there was a I was excited when the show started, when I started it at home. By the way, this is Vlad, the wrestling expert, joining me today. Hello, say hello, Vlad.
Hello, everybody out there that's
All
been missing
right.
us, of course.
Well, thanks for being on with us, Vlad. Sorry, I'm so in a rush to get this show started. I forgot to introduce you, but yeah, Vlad knows more about wrestling than literally anybody. So
Oh my God, that's not true, but
he
okay.
puts Jim Cornette to shame, and he's my go-to guy for.
Jeez.
But anyways, yes. So last week we recorded on Friday, July 21st. So we hadn't seen the show that day, or you did, but you didn't even mention it. But you should have mentioned it. You should have told me, hey, LA Knight lost, because I was so for sure that he was gonna win this
Right,
four-way that was gonna put him in the final of a U.S. title tournament that would give him a title shot. So he
right.
comes out, the crowd's on fire, cuts a promo. You know, they let him talk even for the only one out of the four who got to talk, and then he lost. Santos
Mm,
Escobar um, ended up winning, and LA Knight was nowhere to be found in the finish.
yeah.
That was disappointing, huh? I mean, over a week ago now, but how did you feel about that match?
Yeah, I mean, I think I told you at the time, I don't understand the direction of his booking, but I've been um, concerned with his booking for a while. I'm not concerned, I don't think that's the word, just kind of like confused. I guess that's a better word. Concerned would mean like, I'm concerned like what direction they're going if like I care that much. I'm more confused because like this guy's obviously super over. He's getting a loud reaction. He can talk. He can work. What's the problem here? But then there was a story that came out. I don't know if you caught this, Kehan. Maybe you've been busy this week. That I guess there's been some worry about his how he rubs people the wrong way in the back in the backstage locker room. How he's not easy to get along with, type of stuff. Um, so that kind of explained a little bit because otherwise I am confused about why they're not just pushing this guy as hard as they could because he's one of the few guys on this roster that's actually getting a huge like reaction despite the poor booking, right? So like it was just strange what's been going on, but this kind of explains a little bit. I don't know if you caught that story that some of the
No, I
dirt
did not
sheets.
see
Oh, you
that.
didn't? Okay.
But so
Yeah,
what?
yeah.
So what if he's difficult or he's, a diva or prima donna or whatever the story is? Like, who
Right.
cares? When has that been an issue in the past when someone is this over?
Well, right. Well, I think the what I got from the article is that they still plan to push him, but I think they also kind of want to work with him a little bit, but like so he doesn't, rub people the wrong way. So I don't know where it's all going, but they're trying to tone down maybe some of expectations early, but they eventually do plan to push him because from what I read, that he is. They see that he is over, so they want to do something with him, but they're also worried about him. So I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens. That's what I read. Whether what the truth is, if there's any truth to those articles, who knows? But that's just the story that I got.
Well, okay. I mean, so I came home last Friday night from the bar and I just put
Sure.
on SmackDown. Was a little buzzed and I was like, the show started with this four-way and LA Knight's music hit and
Right.
I'm like, yeah, all right, this is a good show. And I could feel like he was gonna win. I was like, all right, this is the time. How can they can't be this stupid? And then he's nowhere even near the finish, you know. I don't
Mm.
want to explain the finish. There was a thing with Theory and Escobar or whatever, but
Yeah.
anyways, LA Knight's not even involved in the finish. And man, that was
Sure.
disappointing. That took the air right out of the sails. I was pretty excited for the show, but then after that, I really didn't care what happened on the rest of it.
Sure.
But
Sure.
anyways,
Absolutely.
uh, enough about that for the moment. We'll talk about them. Well, did you watch SmackDown from last night or no?
I did. I did.
Okay, well, we can talk about that in a little while. So we'll come back to LA Knight maybe. But for the rest of this show, I'm not gonna go through it. I mean, Dominik Mysterio had a North American title match with Butch. You know, once again, him and Rhea Ripley all over pretty much every show. They're on SmackDown
Sure.
here, so that's not even their show.
Yes.
They just kind of
Right.
came to gloat and ended up in a match. Fine with me. I mean, they're hot. Put them on every show if they want to. I don't care. But I'm not going to talk about that. I'm going to talk about the main event which was a segment. It was Jey Uso and Roman Reigns doing their
Hmm.
terms of their warfare or whatever, John Wick style, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's called tribal combat, which I don't know. It's just another word for no DQ match, I guess, huh?
Right.
And the elders of the family approved it, right? The elders
Sure.
approved
Well,
this. It was their
that
idea.
it was exactly. That's the explanation that we got. That yeah. I'll let you continue, but yes, that's the explanation we got.
Well, what did you think of the acting here from Roman Reigns in the segment when he was very slowly putting his Ula Fala, taking it off and putting it on the title belt,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
showing that
I
that was
mean,
on the line.
yeah, that part was okay. I think there was some something missing from this. Like they needed to explain what exactly this tribal thing is and what are they doing. Like it seemed like a normal contract signing, but then it wasn't. And then they shook hands, right? They went like this, and they touched foreheads, and it was like all supposed to be symbolic, but none of us understood the symbolism behind it. Like at least unless maybe you're from their tribe. I don't know, right? So there was that, and then it ended with I guess Solo was still gonna attack Jay, but then Roman stopped him. Right? He's like, "No, don't hit him." But then Jay still super kicked Solo, who's been getting super kicked left and right pretty much the past like what month. But anyways, I don't know what I thought about it. It wasn't my favorite segment between the Bloodline. I know it was okay. It was still like better than most things out there in wrestling, but it was like just not enough explanation of like what is happening and like we're not getting it type of thing is the feeling I got. But it was still solid. I was just gonna say that yeah, it was just not something that we got clarity on, right? So we didn't really understand what was going on as far as like what it means. But I got the gist of what they're going for. They're basically it's gonna be a no DQ match and it's all on the line. The world title and I guess the tribal chiefdom or whatever they well just being the tribal chief. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. But being the tribal chief and the titles on the line and the winner gets it all is the
Well,
gist of this whole thing.
the one comment I wanted to make was this was the first time that I thought Roman was kind of overacting. You
Hmm.
know,
Yeah.
very slowly looking around, like like oh my God, it's okay, like okay, but a little bit too dramatic. That's my
Sure.
slight criticism. Slight criticism. But overall, yes,
Yeah.
this is uh in a week of wrestling where what do you think? Was this a good week of wrestling or was this like a bad week of wrestling? Because this is probably one of the highlights, right?
This is one of the highlights for sure. For sure. Yeah.
But would you say this was a good week or a bad week? Did you enjoy this week? When you're coming on here, like, was there anything that was like super exciting
No.
for you to talk? Even this was like okay, but
Yeah. This
like,
was okay. I mean, I don't after watching Dynamite, there's really that really takes the wind out of your. I thought it was unbelievable. The card that they put together was one of the worst things I've ever seen. I mean, how you put that card together and expect people to actually watch it and things like that. I don't understand like what the thinking is behind a card like that. Like the fact that they had people watching and the amount they did is still is miraculous to me, given the card that they put out there for us to watch. I mean, what a horrific Dynamite episode that was. But I know I'm rushing to Dynamite. We'll get to Dynamite in a minute and why I thought it was so horrible. But
yeah, I
you
know.
know,
We'll get there. We'll get there. Don't worry. But today,
yeah,
let's just go company by company. So let's stick
sure,
to WWE. All right.
yeah,
I'm just gonna go to Raw from
yeah.
July 24th.
Yeah, this one
So
you're gonna have to remind me on some things because this one I totally don't remember a lot of stuff that happened on Raw. I usually zone out Raw as soon as I watch it. It leaves me right away. So if you have any like notes from it or point or like results or something, that would be helpful.
yeah, I got the whole thing. I got a lot of notes on it. I wasn't gonna go through everything here just because we want to
No,
kind of
no,
rush through this
yeah, not
show
everything.
today. We got to go to the movies later. We're gonna go see what is it called?
Is it
Oppenheimer or whatever?
Oppen- yes, Oppenheimer. Yes,
Okay.
that's
All right.
that's exactly what
So
it's called.
so not much. I mean, really looking at my notes on this, like not much really happened on this show. Like, okay, so it starts with Judgment Day. They're in the ring. They introduce Dominik as like the new North American NXT champion. They're very proud of him, and he gets a ton of heat, obviously. And then Sammy and KO come out, and they want him to shut up. You know, they do the whole babyface thing, and and it turns into a main event between Dominik and Sami Zayn, which I thought was an okay segment. You know, nothing earth-shattering or groundbreaking or too exciting.
Sure. Yeah.
They had Bronson Reed versus Ciampa. Eh. Becky
Right.
versus Zoe, which was for Becky to earn a match against Trish, and Becky ended up winning.
Right.
So that was okay too, not bad. Uh, Rhea and Liv Morgan, they were supposed to have a match, which was a good booking, but Rhea took her out before the match started, so that match never even
Right.
happened. Um,
Right.
Ricochet in-ring promo. Logan Paul attacked him from behind, sneak attack, but he ended up getting laid out himself after he was like showboating with the. He was taking a live
Yeah.
video, I guess, for a live stream. Damian Priest beat Apollo Crews. Okay. Uh, Alpha Academy and Viking Raiders to continue feuding. Also, that's not over. Um,
Oh, thank God it's not over.
yeah, stop me when anything here is interesting enough to talk about, because we haven't stopped yet.
Uh,
uh,
I got
Drew.
nothing so far.
Okay, how about this one? Drew McIntyre and Gunther. They face off in the
Yeah.
ring, and Drew McIntyre wants a match tonight. Like all baby faces do. Why not tonight, huh? Gunther's like, no. Oh, and then here's something. Ludwig Kaiser. You remember this part at all? He comes out and
What do
talks
you?
about how
Yes.
you shouldn't disrespect the ring general, but the thing about it is how he talks. Like he talks like when he's introducing Gunther from, you know, before the ring announcement, and he talks real
No.
like that, like real slow, but just when he's having a normal conversation. He's like,
Yeah.
"How dare you disrespect the ring general?" I'm like, what the fuck? This is the stupidest shit I've ever seen. I gotta point that out. As a Malapert Smark, this is the first thing that we've really talked shit about today. About that was just bad. Okay,
Yeah.
Ludwig
I guess
Kaiser, which I
I
don't
didn't really
hate
think
him.
about it, but yeah, I don't hate him either. But yeah.
I don't hate him, but I think he's a little too exaggerating on this stuff over here. Um,
Sure.
any anyways, that turns into a whole melee
Right.
with Riddle. Riddle gets involved, and
Right.
they all
Right.
kind of have like a melee, but it's gonna be Drew McIntyre versus Gunther.
So,
Um,
correct me. Right. Drew puts Gunther through a table, or is it the other
yeah,
way
yeah,
around?
it was a reversal.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
was about to get put through the
Reversal.
table himself, but Gunther ended up
Yeah.
going through the table.
Yeah. I mean,
Um,
they're gonna have a nice hard stiff match at SummerSlam
yeah,
type of thing.
yeah.
It'll
No,
be
it's
good. It'll
good.
be good. It's
It's
good.
fine.
It's fine. It's
Still
fine.
nothing super wrestling yet, that we're really like excited about throughout any of these
Exactly.
shows. Um,
Sure.
let's see. Seth and Finn, they had a contract signing. Um,
Yep.
so Finn Balor, is going on with his whole deal about how he's been going insane since he lost that title to Seth 7 years ago, and that he's had a
Yeah.
7 year itch about it. But at SummerSlam, he's gonna make Seth his 7 year bitch.
Which makes no sense, but it rhymes, so it just said it.
he said
7
it
year
with
itch,
such
7 year bitch.
he said it with such conviction. He was like
Yeah.
he really sold it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah.
in the end, Damian Priest attacked Seth Rollins with the briefcase, and and he couldn't cash in, which is kind of so terrible for him, huh? Like he has
Yeah,
him right
because
there,
he
dead to
said he
rights.
said right. He wants his buddy to win, and then they could discuss how it's gonna go with him with his money in the bank. Right. Well, we'll see. I have a feeling that Finn's not gonna win at SummerSlam. So, anyways.
Yeah, I know. That's kind of really messed up. For a friend to make you do that, I think if he had a chance to win the title, his friend should just let him win the title. I guess.
Yeah.
Anyways, so then Sami Zayn came out and tried to help. KO wasn't there. I guess he got taken out earlier in the show. But
Yeah.
so they ended up beating down Sammy and Seth Rollins to end the show. So that was it. That was Raw, and that's pretty much
Yeah, I
Pretty
mean
much
that's a
it.
pretty bland show and
Pretty
pretty.
it was pretty bland. Cody cut a long promo, but
Oh yeah, 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 yeah,
it
yeah,
was
yeah.
just him
Sorry,
by
yeah, that did
himself.
happen.
It
That's
was
right.
just him with
I
nothing.
mean, that's always a highlight because given the rest of the show, it's not bad. Like obviously he's a great talker. Like, I mean, we've heard it all before in a sense with this Rock thing. So we'll see what happens. Obviously, the match I think will be pretty good at SummerSlam. But I kind of agree with one of our other co-hosts, Robert, that I think definitely SummerSlam should be the end of that feud. So, and I think it will be. So we'll see.
All right. Well, sticking to WWE, I guess I got a couple things to say about NXT. Not everything, but just stuff related to the main roster. I don't know if you saw any of it, but Dom and Rhea started the
We're
show.
there again. Yeah.
Yeah, they were headliners, and then Wes Lee. Okay, so I think this is good. So Wes Lee's probably gonna come up to the main roster at some point, but he does step up to them. Tells them off. Told Dom to just shut up like he was nothing, which was pretty funny. Like nobody respects Dominik. um, so Wes Lee cut a nice promo here. I thought I'll give him some props. He wants his rematch and all that. And Mustafa Ali is involved in this, in case you're curious, because he was supposed to fight Wes Lee
Right.
before he lost the title. So
Mm.
now it's looking like it's gonna be a three-way, and then Rhea accepted the match for a
Yes.
three-way
Yes. I
for
saw that part.
Dominik, and Dominik was like, you sure that's a good idea? But I guess Rhea's got something up her sleeve to make sure he holds on to the title. And then other than that, Dragunov and Carmelo Hayes are gonna go at it for the NXT title. So they had some continuation of their feud there, and I guess they're coming up to the Great American Bash. So I don't really want to talk about everything from NXT. I don't cover NXT on our show, but if it's related to the main roster, fine. So that's WWE for the week. Um, let's move on to the other guys, the more exciting guys, the
Mm.
AEW guys. So um, you know, to really talk about Dynamite this week, some stuff from Death Before Dishonor, the Ring of Honor pay-per-view, kind of related to it, and you had to sort of watch that to know what was going on, I guess, in some of these Dynamite spots. But I'll 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 just go through the stuff that related
Well,
to it.
I don't want to interrupt, but did we cover? Well, we covered last week's collision, right? We did cover that, right? That we did cover, or we didn't? I can't
No,
remember now.
we're gonna do that too. We're
Oh,
gonna
we're gonna do
do
that too.
we're gonna
Gotcha,
do
gotcha,
Death Before Dishonor, then Collision, then Dynamite,
gotcha.
because it's all the same company. So um, let me go through this Death Before Dishonor card because I'll be interested to
Absolutely.
hear what you thought about some of this stuff. Um,
Just for the record, I did not see any of this. Okay, but
yeah,
continue.
okay. So here's some things that happened, just so you know. So
Yeah,
there was this TV title tournament that was really good actually. There was a lot of good matches that Dalton Castle ended up winning. Very impressed with
yeah,
him despite his gimmick. He beat
right.
this guy Shane Taylor and he suplexed this humongous guy, this dude, and I thought it was impressive. He put himself over there, and so he won that tournament. He faced Samoa Joe at this pay-per-view, and he looked pretty good. It was a hard-fought match, and then Samoa Joe ended up low blowing him when the referee wasn't looking, distracted by Stokley Hathaway. So that's a new team, Joe and Stokley.
I thought Stokely was like some sort of commissioner or general manager or something over
Yeah,
there.
he is, but I think it looks like Joe's going to use him for that reason, since
No,
he's got some kind of power, some kind of stroke
no,
in Ring of Honor, actually. So he had
I
to use a
see.
low blow to beat Dalton Castle. Like, he's already a heel, but that was low even for a heel, really. Um, so let's see. There was a four-way for the Ring of Honor tag team titles. With Lucha Brothers defending, and God, this was just like a terrible, terrible spot fest. Now that I'm reading about all this stuff, I shouldn't even go through it. Uh, but Lucha Brothers, they lost the titles to Aussie Open,
You're
and
right.
there was also the
The
Kingdom
open.
and Best Friends were in this match. Um,
Hmm.
so Dark Order got sent to Ring of Honor. So they've been
Oh,
involved
good,
with
good.
this. They've been involved with a crazy feud with Alex Reynolds, who left them. And he's like
Hmm.
he joined this other group of weirdos called the Righteous, and they look like homeless guys type of thing. So they've been feuding, and this turned into like a ridiculous, wild, hardcore match. Like Dark Order is saying,
Yeah.
like this is the return of Dark Order because of this. Like
Mm-hmm.
they had to dig down to like a dark place that they haven't been in a while. So
Sure.
Dark Order ended up winning and going over, and so that was like the crazy match of the night. You know, the crazy weapons, thumbtacks, everything you could think of.
Oh,
Uh,
wonderful, wonderful.
Let me see what else. Oh, this was well, Shibata versus Daniel Garcia for the
Oh
Ring of
yeah.
Honor Pure title. This was the only
Yeah.
moment of the week where I literally laughed my ass off. Like if I had a video of this, but you know the Daniel Garcia dance, but he did like a super.
Now I do.
He
Now
did
I
a
do. I remember.
super.
Yeah.
This time there was a super special like extended version of it where he was really trying to disrespect Shibata, and he did it for like a minute or something until he got slapped in the face. But who ended up winning? Shibata ended up winning, beating him.
Good. Good.
Just
Good.
so you
That's
know,
what he.
Pure Wrestling
That's what he.
Championship.
That's what he deserves. That's what he deserves for being a dancing fool. Continue.
All right, so this is the stuff that's gonna end up sort of being involved on Dynamite, I guess, which I still don't get it here. So Claudio is defending the Ring of Honor title against Pac.
Yeah.
Claudio wins, and
Yeah.
then he's attacked by Death Triangle after the match. Okay,
Mm.
so the Death Triangle reform Pac and the Lucha Brothers, so they gang up on Claudio. So then for some reason the best friends come out to help Claudio. Okay, I don't know why. I don't know why anyone would want to help Claudio. He's in a heel stable. Okay,
Yeah.
so Trent and Chuck come out, and then Orange Cassidy comes out and helps too. He was trying to punch another guy in the Blackpool Combat Club. I forgot. It might have been Wheeler or something. And
Oh,
he
good. Well,
ended up,
somebody should punch Wheeler. Yeah.
yeah. So he ended up punching Claudio by mistake. So then that
Yeah.
started a beef between them that led into Dynamite, I guess.
Yeah.
Right. So if you didn't watch Death Before Dishonor, you would have not known any of that. But okay,
Mm.
not like it even mattered. It just was not. It was not good there. It was not good on Dynamite. We'll get to that later. Um, anyways, let me move on. The last thing from this was Athena and Willow, which Athena won in a good match. Good stuff. Good stuff, I thought. And Athena retains, hard fought match, and she actually ended up respecting Willow at the end and shaking her hand and everything.
Oh,
So
wow. Okay.
yeah. So that was Death Before Dishonor. It was 4 hours long. You know.
Hmm. Yeah, of
With
course.
but let me move on because we're trying to roll through the rest of this. We got a couple shows to finish here for our reviews. Let's go to Collision, which is supposed to be the
Yeah.
best stuff of the week. So this is Saturday, July 22nd. It's 1 week from when we're recording this right now. 1 week ago, there's going to be another episode of
Right.
Collision coming up tonight. But for right now, let's talk
Correct.
about last week. We haven't discussed this at all. Ricky Starks went out to celebrate winning the Owen Hart Cup. I like this promo here. You know, he's confident, he's charismatic. This whole thing with him is working, I think. And then
Yeah.
Punk comes out, disrespects him. You know, saying that Starks disrespects Punk. He said that the thing that he's holding in his bag doesn't mean it's shit, right?
Yeah.
The old world title. And then Punk gets really pissed at that, returns to the ring because he was about to leave after he disrespected Starks, and he comes back to the ring and he says he's the real world champion.
Right.
Um, What do you think about that? Is CM Punk the real world champion? If someone gets hurt and is out for an extended period of time, never lost the title, does that mean they're really still the champion?
No. But they should probably have a match with MJF to settle the score of who is the real world champion, quote unquote. Which I think they will, obviously. Just a matter of kind of building it up.
It
Uh,
has been building up. We'll talk about that later on Dynamite, where
right.
MJF actually mentioned Punk a
Right.
little bit for a second. But
Yes.
anyways, so this was an interesting segment, kind of WWE like, you know, like a lot of people coming in, setting up a main event. So Christian comes in out of nowhere, uh,
Yeah.
talks shit to both of them, saying that, you know, he's contractually obligated to show up because he's the TNT champion, but he didn't. They were taking too long in the ring with this nonsense they were talking. So
Correct.
and then Darby Allin comes out of nowhere, which is like, okay, you know, I'm liking when they try to trip out the audience and give us some random ass stuff. But Darby Allin comes out, talks shit about everyone except Punk, so they're apparently friends, which is kind of interesting that Darby's on his side. Um, and then this sets up a main event match, like a tag team match. Christian and Ricky
Starks.
Starks against
Yeah,
CM Punk and Darby Allin, which
and Darby.
is
Sure.
this was good. I didn't mind this. I thought this was one
Yeah,
of the better segments of the week.
yeah. Well, yeah. I'm just gonna say real quick. I thought Starks did pretty well. I thought he got his point across of why he did what he had to do. He doesn't apologize for it. He did what he had to do to win. And he's not sorry for grabbing the rope. And things like that on
Yeah,
the last,
many people would do
which I,
that.
which I'm fine with. And and I liked his line about like how Punk's words are just as empty or whatever he said as the the red bag that he carries. It's things like that. I thought that was pretty good. I thought overall Starks did quite well. Uh, and this was a good segment. This was a good opening segment.
All right, well, let's move on. Jay and Juice had a match, so at least they didn't forget about them. They just kind of.
Well, before you go to that, I just want to say one thing that I thought was funny, which was Andrade getting kicked out of the building for what he did last week. They said, and I thought about
Yes.
it. I'm like, he didn't do that last week. What is he? I'm like, what? What is he getting kicked out of the building for? He didn't. He literally didn't do anything. He just
Yeah,
was like, I'm like, how can he get kicked out? There are people that literally kill people and they don't get kicked out of the building, and this guy's getting kicked out of the building for just like coming out to the ring and getting pushed back by security. It was kind of ridiculous, but okay.
yeah. Well, they knew he had some beef with House of Black, and they had a title trios match, so they didn't want him getting involved.
I know, but
Which
it was just kind of silly. But it
it's
was just
so
silly. It was
not
just
wrestling, right? Like that's
yeah,
what's supposed to happen. People are supposed to
yeah,
get involved if you have beef with somebody. They really wanted to like this was like the main event of WrestleMania. Like we really need a fair trios
yeah.
match tonight, trios title match. So yeah, I was gonna get there next, but they ended up the House of Black, so they ended up having a title defense against the Acclaimed and Billy Gunn, Daddy Ass as they call him. And then so they defend, they win. The Acclaimed lose,
Right.
and Mr. Ass is gonna look like he's gonna retire. Right, takes off his boots in the middle of the ring, and you know, what is this? What is this angle leading to, Vlad?
I have no idea, dude.
Are
I
they
have to be
finally
honest.
they're gonna give him the trios title in the end finally, and it's gonna be like a big celebration or something?
I don't know, man. I think they really. I remember like what, like 6 months ago when this group was as over as any like tag team in wrestling. Like
Yeah.
even though I'm not a fan of them, like I'm not a fan of like the whole shtick. But even I could appreciate the fact that they got over. Now I don't know what they're doing with them. They've been doing nothing for the past six
Well, don't
months.
you
I
think
feel
Billy Gunn deserves like a farewell storyline, right? You
not
know,
really, no, not necessarily, no.
he's a legend. He was in DX. He was from the
Yeah,
Attitude Era. He's one of
he's
the,
had his run. He's in his 60s, right? Right, he's got to be in his early
but
60s.
everyone deserves a retirement match, a final storyline or something, you know?
Okay, but this is really bad. Like this is not good. I mean, if this is his, I don't know. I'm not. I don't care. I guess my
Okay.
point is I don't care too much about this. I guess is my point.
But he's
I mean,
not retiring, right? This is like an angle, probably.
I think he should. They should probably at this point he probably should go just be like a backstage agent or a trainer. I mean, he's got a lot
But
of
he looks more
knowledge.
physically menacing than any of these other
Well,
guys.
sure. Well, sure.
He's in
There's
better
that.
shape than everybody. Like, really he should be
Yeah.
in the title picture. Like
Yeah,
not
but
the
I mean,
young bucks.
well, yes, I agree with that too. But at the same time, he is in his 60s, and how long is he going to continue to do this, right?
Well, yeah, of course. But
Yeah,
I don't mind him getting a farewell angle. I just don't know if this is how they should do it, you know.
yeah,
But, everyone loves him. Everyone loves saying "Scissor me, daddy" or whatever. And, that's
yeah, or
cool.
daddy
It's
ass,
cool.
and just yeah,
It's cool that that's over. But I don't know. I guess I could use a little more from this, other than the standard just take off your boots and cry and go to the back and whatever. I don't know. Okay, it was fine. It's whatever. So let's move on. Um, FTR, they cut a promo about their upcoming match with MJF and Adam Cole. They gave this show kind of, since they have an extra 2 hours, it kind of gives it a little room to breathe. They can send
mm,
guys out there for like a long in-ring promo. It's okay.
Right.
since it's 2 shows now, so why not? So they let him talk for a while, and they're telling Adam Cole not to trust MJF because they know him, right? They used to be in the same group together,
Right.
and so they're sowing seeds of distrust, and they say
Sure.
that they're gonna kick their ass. Okay.
Yeah, basically. But I thought it was a solid promo. Good work from those
Yeah.
guys. So they
Yeah.
they're both good talkers, and they're both great wrestlers. I'm a big fan of FTR, as you know. So this was fine. This was good.
So Taya Valkyrie and Sky Blue. Taya Valkyrie wins, and then cuts a kind of an odd promo after the match, challenging Britt Baker. She was like out of breath, and that was kind of an ugly one, I thought, but okay.
I don't. I just want to say the women's division is just a disaster. I don't know who's running that thing. If it's still Kenny Omega, that makes sense. But whoever it is, it's a full-fledged, makes no sense what's going on in that division whatsoever. I hear there's drama all the time between these women and whatnot. It's just got to get it under control, man. They got to get it under control because it's insane. They have some good. They have a couple of good workers. They have a couple of good wrestlers, but as a whole, the division is just nonsensical nonsense, and that's just the bottom line. I don't think any AEW fan can argue, even their biggest supporters can argue that they are so far away from the WWE women's division. Hell, they're probably even so far from the what's it called, the Impact women's roster. As far as I'm concerned, they're the worst women's division in wrestling, I think.
Yeah, well, we'll have more to talk about that later. Let me put that on pause, and
Sure.
we'll go on when Dynamite comes on.
Oh God.
So the so the main event here was Christian and Starks, which I thought they were pretty funny together, working as heels. They
Yeah,
didn't want,
yeah.
like, nobody wanted
Nobody
to
wanted to
tag
tag
in.
in to start. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I thought that was kind of creative. I'd never seen that before. I'm sure it's happened, but uh,
Probably.
anyways, there Darby Allin had this crazy like reverse DDT spot off the top rope, and I thought that was the spot of the night. If we're gonna do Spot Fest competition or whatever. But anyways, the booking, Ricky Starks holds the ropes again and wins the match, which I thought was hilarious.
Yeah, yeah. I liked it. I liked the booking on that too. I mean, like I said last week when there was some like criticism of should Punk have gone over, should Starks have gone over. So it depends. What are they going to do with Ricky Starks? Like, are they going to try to elevate him? And I think that's what they're trying to do with getting him some big wins on over Punk and Darby and whatnot, right? I mean, those are like two of their kind of big stars, and he's getting wins, whether it be by holding the rope or not. He's getting some recognition. I don't know. I guess it's still the jury's still out on that, but overall, I'm happy for Starks because I like him.
Oh yeah, he's really good. I hope for once, they're kind of keeping up with somebody going along with their push. So I hope they keep going. I mean, I don't think he's
Yeah.
gonna blow it. I think this is a slam dunk.
No, it's good. It's going to be up to them. It's going to be what they do with him, like what they do booking wise. Like where does it all go? Like does he get to be really elevated from this, like getting like a really good rub or not? I mean, I think it all depends, And obviously, I've had some distrust in Tony Khan's booking, but overall, we'll see.
Yeah,
I'll
but
just
since
have to wait and
Collision
see for
started, it's been going pretty
yeah.
well for him. He's
For
like
Starks,
been
for Starks, yeah, for sure. For
yes.
Starks, this was a blessing in disguise that Collision started. For a lot of these guys, right, that were not being used correctly, hopefully they will be used better on Collision. We'll see.
Okay. So, anyways, I thought Collision was okay.
That was okay.
Christian was featured in the main event, which I thought really helped make it look
Yeah.
professional and everything. So, I didn't think it was like a fantastic, super, super, super world class episode, but it was good. It
No.
was like fine. It was fine.
Yeah, it was a
Uh,
solid. I think I put a grade down that it was like a C or C plus. I could give it a C or C plus. Is what I put.
all right.
Either way.
Let's move on to Dynamite from a couple nights ago.
Yep.
This was July. Is it 27th? Am I thinking of here? Hold on. Let me just 26th. Sorry, July 26th.
26.
And so um, you texted me before you saw the show saying that the card looked weak.
Oh my
So
God,
the
to say
card
the least.
looked weak.
I did.
So
As,
let
as you know, I was on vacation, or I was out of town. So I kind of watched it on my phone. I didn't take any notes on this one as I usually do, but this was a week not to take any notes for sure, because this didn't really matter in the grand scheme of anything that I care about in wrestling. So yeah, let's go through it. But
Yeah, I
this
mean,
was not one that I took notes on.
I don't have very detailed notes either, man. I have some general, what happened here, but yeah, you're right. Let's just go through it. Let's go through it. So it starts off with an international title match as usual, as often it does. Orange
Yes,
Cassidy
yes.
against AR Fox. Uh, so this was the match that Darby Allin asked to get AR Fox a title match because he let him sleep on his couch when he was homeless, right? So
Correct.
he pulled a favor for him. And the interesting about this, which I thought it was a terrible match, even for an Orange Cassidy match, if you wanted to go through it move for move, like a lot of it looked awkward, weird, not natural, you know.
Sure.
So I would give it a poor rating. But the interesting thing about it was that AR Fox turned heel at the end, like he lost, and he
Yeah.
got mad that he lost, and he hit Orange Cassidy with his sunglasses, like he broke them in half and cracked him in the head
Broke the
with it.
glasses and then hit him in the head. Yep.
Yeah. So, but then it looked like he was like apprehensive at first, like he wasn't turning full. He was like, "Oh shit, I don't know what I did. I'm sorry." And then Darby Allin came out and he was pissed about it. I pulled strings for you. This is embarrassing. You
Yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah, yeah. He was all in his face, like, why did you do that? I pulled these strings. But my favorite reaction was Taz. He was just like, oh, I like it. I thought it was good. Showing some emotion.
Yeah, I like when someone's like shows some spirit, huh? Come on. All right. All right. So the post match stuff, okay, I was better than
It
the
was, but
match. It was
for sure, for sure. I didn't care for this match because, like, I mean, why should I care about AR Fox? I know they had this video segment that like explained Darby's relationship with them, but like, I mean, what? Like,
Yeah, I know.
I
Well,
don't know.
listen, let's put that on hold. It's gonna come back a little
Yeah,
later again. But let's
yeah.
go through the show in
As
order.
everything does on this show. Yeah.
Yeah, not always, but okay.
Well,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
so we have Don Callis, excuse me, Don Fallis is as Cornette calls him, which is the
That's
perfect
correct.
name for him. Um, so he's with Chris Jericho, and he's trying to continue to influence him to join his group and leave
Yeah.
JAS. Uh, Made him a portrait like the one he made Kenny Omega with
Yeah.
that shows them, all young and buff or whatever. That's his favorite gift
Mhm.
to give someone. A picture of someone like
When they
looking,
were younger.
yeah, looking unrealistically buff. But anyways,
Yeah.
so he ended up pushing for Jericho to have a match against his own boys, Daniel Garcia and Sammy Guevara. So,
Mm.
you know, pushing a little bit
Wait,
of
did,
his.
did I mishear, or did Jericho agree to be in Callis' group? I thought he said that he was going to do it, or did I not hear that right?
No, we still don't know yet.
Oh,
We
we don't
still
know
don't.
because I thought. Oh, he just agreed to the match. He just agreed to the tag
Yes,
match. Is that right?
yeah.
Okay, okay.
He
My bad,
he
my bad.
thought about it. So yeah, that's gonna happen next week on Dynamite. I can't believe this. I never thought I'd see the day Sammy
Yeah, me
Guevara
neither.
and Daniel Garcia facing off against Jericho. This is sad.
Yeah.
Anyways, moving on. Oh, okay. Here's some good stuff. I like this. If you're gonna say that the whole show was garbage, I won't say that about this segment. Was Jack Perry coming out for an in-ring interview with Tony Schiavone, uh,
Yes.
and basically ended with him talking crap about ECW because he holds the FTW title now, and he said that they were
Right.
all low lives, low class, that he would beat all of them. He pointed straight at Taz and said, I would have beat any of you and your friends from back in the days. And my boy, Jerry Lynn, actually came out and
Jerry
confronted
Lynn.
him about this because he was in ECW. So
He was in
this I
ECW,
this I really liked. I really liked
and
this.
well, Jerry Lynn, I think is an agent, or he's something. He does something
Yes,
for
he's an
AEW.
agent for AEW. Yes.
He's an agent for AEW, so he does some backstage stuff, but he's being used in this angle. I don't know. I mean, obviously, I know Jerry Lynn. I've seen his work in the old ECW days. His matches with RVD are kind of a thing of ECW legend, right? Um,
Yep.
so, but as far as this, I mean, obviously, I think it could be a good way to get some heat for Jack Perry. I was about to call him Jungle Boy again. For Jack Perry, obviously, if he beats up this old ECW legend, and then we'll see where that goes. And then maybe Hook will get involved, and Taz will get involved somehow with all of this craziness. I think it's all right. I mean, I guess feuding with an older guy is just, makes just as much sense as feuding with anybody on this roster, on Dynamite. So I'm thinking like, who else is he could he feud with? I mean, I know he's feuding with Hook in the grand scheme of things, but like having a match where you could get heat, this could be like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder if Jerry Lynn can still work at all, or what this is gonna be exactly. But
Exactly. Yeah, I don't know.
I
I
have
have my doubts,
I mean,
but it
I
looks
feel like he
cool.
could. I feel like him and Jack Perry could make something work because Jack Perry worked great with Christian. He's a great worker. I think Jack Perry is a great not a great like 5-star
I don't.
perfect worker, but he's really good. He's
I
really,
think
really
he's
good.
good when he's paired with the right person with him. Like when you need somebody to kind of lead him correctly, and he's good. But if he's like working with another young guy just trying to do some nonsense, then like the matches kind of fall apart and they become spot fest and unrealistic nonsenses. But when he's paired with a guy like Chris, yeah, it's gonna be good. Or I mean, we'll see what Jerry Lynn has. That will be interesting. I mean, I don't even know what's expected of that. Except I think it will be a segment where Jack Perry gets a lot of heat.
Yeah. So I'm gonna I'm gonna give a thumbs up to this segment just because
Yeah, I have no
big
problem with it.
Jerry
No
Lynn
problem with
fan,
it.
and I think Jungle Boy is a little funny. Like
I kind of
like
like. I mean, I told you, like, right? He's doing well with this role as being a heel. I think he's doing as good as can be expected. I mean, definitely more interesting than when he was a baby
what
face. There's
what
no
was the
denying
line
that.
when Jerry Lynn told him if you keep talking like this, you're probably gonna get your ass kicked. And Jack Perry goes, "Well, I'd really like to see who's gonna kick my ass."
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well. Do you agree with some of the not criticism, but like I guess a critique that maybe Anna Jay should kind of be
Hell
the
yes!
woman
Oh, it's
on his arms?
perfect, man. It's of
Yeah.
course it's tailor made. They're real life together in real
There.
life.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
of course. Don't even
Yeah.
ask me this. This should have been done
Yeah.
10 days ago, yesterday.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Gotcha. But of course.
um,
All right.
so Jack Perry said he wasn't dressed to fight, and he said next week. So that's how that segment
Right.
ended.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah. Yeah.
kind of funny. I'm not
Very
ready right now. I'm not ready.
funny and a heel move.
Yes.
So
Um, so Pac, I guess they need to get him back into the swing of things on this show. They gave him a
yeah,
match against Gravity, which
gravity,
I know if we really wanted to go into detail about this show, I know you could rip this booking to shreds, but forget it. Let's just move
gravity.
on. It's a win for Pac, right? I think.
Yeah,
Uh,
yes. I should hope so. God
I
damn, she lost to gravity.
I don't know. I think I zoned out here, but okay.
Sure, I
Um,
don't blame you.
MJF promo in the back with Adam Cole. So this was great about
Yeah,
talking about FTR and how
yes,
Dax says the same thing all the time about how he loves his
yeah,
wife and he loves his kid and he loves his business. And
yeah.
the one I don't like that Dax always says is this is how I put food in my children's mouth. I'm like,
Sure.
dude, you're not starving, bro. You made enough money. Shut the fuck up about putting food in your kid's mouth. Whatever. I hate that
It's
one.
a,
I
it's
don't
an old
like that
school
one.
thing. It's. I know, but it's
It's
like
old
that's.
school, but it doesn't make sense and it's stupid. Like, stop saying
Oh
that.
yeah,
Everyone knows you have like $1 million contract or whatever. You're not starving, okay? This is a
sure,
back in
sure.
the day
Nowadays,
thing.
absolutely.
It's a back in the day
Nowadays, it's
thing.
not. Yeah, but this is before guaranteed contracts where it made sense, where you had to make appearances and things like that. You got paid per appearance, right? But
Yes.
now,
So
yes,
the wrestlers back then were more working paycheck to paycheck. Work.
yeah,
They had to work to get paid. Okay, I get it. This is how I put.
where that line would make more sense, where you would say like, yeah, you're taking food out of my child's mouth, by whatever, doing whatever.
Yeah. So that's the one I don't like. MJF didn't mention that, but he did call him a Mr. Clean Yosemite Sam looking motherfucker, something like that. Uh,
Something like that. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He said he's just gonna punch them so hard in the face that they're gonna spit out CM Punk's jockstrap.
Yeah. I think he said that towards Dax, or maybe Cat. I can't remember which one.
Cash
One
towards
of them
Cash. Well, whatever.
towards
Both of
Cat.
them. They're both with
Yeah.
Punk. They're
Right,
they're
right,
in a
right, right.
stable. I think they're a six man
Yeah.
stable,
Correct.
a, a 6-man tag stable, whatever.
Yeah.
So this moves on to Adam Cole, who also talks, and he apologized to MJF for holding his title last week. He's like, I was just handing it to you. Don't worry, there's nothing to worry about. I think we're becoming pretty good / best friends, he said. And a weird thing, MJF told Adam Cole, I'm going to give you a title shot after this match for the
Yeah,
world title.
win or lose. Win or
Very
lose. Yeah.
strange. This is kind of starting to make me feel like Adam Cole is the one who's working MJF. You know, if he's the one who ends up getting the title match, and
Yeah.
that, I mean, that would, I don't know. We're still kind of ambiguous where this is going, but okay. That was very strange because very un-MJF like, right?
Yeah.
So then Roderick Strong comes in. He says that he saw the look on MJF's eyes, you know, when he looked like he was gonna hit Cole with the belt or something like that. And Roderick is really, really, really trying to get Adam Cole to listen to him. Holds his arm and everything, and Adam Cole goes, "Hey, boundaries, brother, get away from me." And Adam Cole says he's pushing him away the way he's acting. So
Yeah.
the acting with Adam Cole and MJF is pretty good. When Roderick Strong comes in, it's kind of lowers the level a little bit. I get he's part of the story and they want him to be a part of
Yeah.
it, but okay. Do you have anything to say about this promo? I know you liked
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. MJF's part was really good. Then, like, after he was done talking and they talked about the Cole and then adding Roddy to the whole mix, it kind of, I'm indifferent about that. I understand where they're going. Well, actually, we don't know exactly where they're going, who's turning on who or who's playing who, but if I don't particularly, Roddy comes off like some like jealous girlfriend or ex or something. It's kind of petty and kind of stupid, But that part I don't like. But um, other than that, MJF is obviously when he has like a particular thing that he wants to get off his chest or a thing that like where he has material to work with, he's great. So he was the highlight of this segment.
Okay, so I got another weird thing to talk about. So right after this, FTR cut a promo that they said was recorded last Wednesday.
Well, they said both segments were recorded last Wednesday, which I didn't understand. Why even say that? Why just not? If that was the case, why even say it? Like, nobody would know.
Yeah, and then the funny thing about it was that Dax Harwood knew everything MJF said. He's like, I know you're gonna say this about me, and I know you're gonna say this about me. So he knew what was in the promo, and he
Yeah, meaning he
responded
probably
to it.
just heard it. Meaning he just heard it, most likely, right? They probably cut theirs first, and then they cut theirs second. And he probably heard it, or whatever, which was ridiculous. It was dumb.
Yeah. Okay.
The
So
whole
this.
thing. Why even say that it was? Why even say that it was last Wednesday? What sense did that make? Just say that you have a backstage promo with these two teams back to back or something, or something to that effect.
Yeah. Or my theory was, yeah, you're right. They might have been right next to each other, listening to each other. But my theory was that maybe they told them what they said. Like, hey, this is what
Yeah,
this is
I
what
guess.
MJF said about you if you want to respond. Which was, I don't know. I thought the whole thing was just a little, uh, kind of cut and pasted together, a little weird for this show.
Yeah, I agree. But
That's about that though. But the promos themselves were fine. And FTR,
fine.
um, I forgot what he said about MJF, but he had some jabs at MJF too.
Yeah. He had. I can't remember anything specific. I mean, obviously, knowing that they worked together on the Pinnacle, knowing that he's like an untrustworthy type of guy, that he just looks out for himself, that he's gonna, screw Cole over, and it's not about Cole, but he's in the cross path or the what's the word? Well, he's in the way basically of them and MJF's beef. So he's they're gonna have to beat his ass too. I guess is what they're saying. Yeah, basically.
All right. So, oh man, my notes are a little spotty here. I guess I didn't really pay attention so closely. But Darby Allin had a match, right? Who did Darby Allin fight? Remember that? Oh, Swerve Strickland. Excuse me.
Yeah,
I
that's
think I
right.
didn't write it
Sports
down
Strickland.
because I thought I would remember. But anyways, AR Fox ended up interfering in this match and turning heel completely. Uh,
Yes.
Nick Wayne was there with Darby as his friend, his valet or whatever, but he didn't do anything, and he couldn't thwart the
Yeah.
interference or help Darby in any way. So I guess
Yeah.
he
So I guess
just,
AR Fox basically joined this the mogul whatever embassy whatever the heck they call themselves. I mean, this was this is like who is AR Fox and why should we care about his heel turn? Like it was insane. This
yeah,
is
it was
like
a very
insane booking.
feature of
This
this
is this
show.
This is just like nonsensical booking. Like, why is AR Fox all of a sudden having this big feature where he has an opening match and he comes in another segment, turns heel? It's insane. It's like, what are we? What? Like, why should we care?
Yeah, they could.
AR
Yeah,
Fox has not
exactly.
even been on TV
They can
at
make us
all.
care about him first before they turn him heel. But
Unbelievable, yeah.
if anyone would care about him, it's for the flips and dives. He's a good flipper and a good diver. He's had a lot of those on Ring of Honor and on AEW. Anyways,
Yeah,
moving on, a couple more segments. So JAS had a meeting because this you were asking me, did he actually join Don Callis? So JAS called Jericho 2.0 and Anna Jay and Ty Conti. They talked to him, serious conversation. They
sure.
and Anna Jay put it best. Like after all the time they spent appreciating him, and this is how he repays them. Like really, like they were pissed. They had reason to be. So
Yeah,
uh,
I don't know. I was just distracted by Ty Conti's pregnant stomach. I don't understand why she's wearing a low top type of, not, or like I guess a high top with her midsection, her pregnant stomach showing like that. Like that's just a weird. That's a weird look for someone that's whatever. To me, I don't know. I mean, I don't really care. I don't judge, but it's just a weird look to me. It's like, why would you be showing your pregnant stomach like that? Uh, anyways,
no
that's the only thing.
comment. No comment.
That's the only thing I got out of that segment. No comments. Yeah.
No comment. No comment.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I got it. But that's the only thing I got out of that segment. I don't really, I don't care about what happens with JASS or with J. What the hell is that? What is their initials?
JAS, man, the Jericho Appreciation Society.
Yeah,
Um,
that's it.
yeah, you're right. Let's move on. We don't need to talk about it that much. They're getting a full-on storyline here, better than NWO got for their breakup or whatever. Um, let's see. Okay, so here's some more about what you were saying. So during that Taya Valkyrie Britt Baker match that got set up on
Yeah,
Collision,
that's right.
when the finish hit was so hilarious. I don't know if you saw it, but I'm gonna put a video of it in with the post production on this. But
Yeah, remind me.
so the finish hit and Britt Baker won the match and got the pinfall, and they went to the crowd to get a reaction, and some guy put a sign up right at that moment that said,
Oh,
"Book
fantastic.
the women's division better."
I can't believe I missed that. Oh my god. That is perfect. That
Plain
is
as
amazing.
day, right in the center. I was like, "Oh my god!" And then they cut away from it like 2 seconds later or something. But that guy
Oh
nailed
my
it.
god.
Best
That's
sign,
terrible.
best sign of the week. Best sign of the
That
week.
is terrible. These
So,
these these camera people need to be fired on the spot. They're always filming the worst possible things for the company that everybody's already thinking, but that they shouldn't want on their cameras being said what like right there. But anyways, yes, of course I agree. As you know, what I was
yeah,
saying before, it's been
exactly. We don't need to get into that more, but
no,
yes,
no.
some people agree with you, Vlad, that the women's division could be booked better. Please
Oh,
book it better, please, Tony Khan, please.
please, 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 pretty please.
Okay, one last thing. Let me see. So this was that stuff, that whole Death Before Dishonor stuff that I filled you in on that really didn't make sense
Yeah,
and wasn't that good. But the main event stemmed from that, right? It was the
yeah,
BCC, the Best Friends, and the Death Triangle in a
yeah.
match, and I don't really know who won,
I,
and
I,
I don't
I think also
really.
I also think the Lucha brothers were in it, but that's all I remember.
Yeah, yeah. Did I say Death
Oh, Death.
Triangle?
You said Death Triangle. I'm sorry. Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
I said Death
That's.
Triangle. I meant
Oh, you
Lucha
did. You
Brothers.
did. You did.
Whatever.
Oh, got you, guys. Yeah,
Whatever.
got it.
Whatever
Yeah,
about this match. Very, very not
yeah.
impressed
That's
with
what.
this match, this booking, this
Yeah.
whole idea of throwing the Blackpool Combat Club in with Penta and Ray
Hmm.
Phoenix and everything. I don't know what's going on here. I hope this
Yeah.
isn't.
Should this goes? Those guys should just stay at Ring of Honor where they belong. I've enjoyed them not being on the main show, but okay. I
Yeah,
don't know. I got nothing for this. I just was the only thing I don't was surprised is Moxley didn't bleed from my recollection, and I thought that should be noted. But I could be wrong, and maybe he did. But I was kind of not watching this very closely at this point. So if I'm mistaken, and somebody wants to point it out that he did bleed, I apologize in advance. But from what I remember, Moxley did not bleed on this particular show. He's saving that probably for the next show, which he
I
will
did not
bleed
watch this
extensively.
match, and I don't say that often about wrestling. I usually put everything on and just give it a chance.
Yeah,
But I'm
sure.
so not into this at all.
Yeah, understandable. I mean, very understandable. This was awful. This was one of the worst.
And I
This was
watched a
one of
lot
the
of
worst.
wrestling, so
This was one of the worst Dynamites, just based on the fact of the card itself was just terrible.
well, what was good
Terrible,
about it?
terrible, terrible.
Just baby the Jack Perry segment. I mean, the
Yeah,
MJF FTR stuff was pre-taped, so
yeah.
yeah, that's
They
it.
weren't even there live on the show. Neither team was there. So,
It was
um,
Jack Perry and this AR Fox heel turn. So that sounds pretty thin, pretty thin.
that's extremely, extremely thin. Yeah. But what else did they really have? I mean, their two featured uh, teams on the show are the Elite and the Moxley's insane group. Uh, and none of them are from Blackpool. so, by the way, so I just want to point that out. I mean, the guy that wasn't Blackpool is no longer with the company, right? So, anyways, I don't know what to make of it. I mean, those are their. What else could they really do? I don't know. I know MGF was a feature of the show, obviously with Cole now, so that was probably also a highlight. But like you said, it was a pre-taped segment, and I think Jack Perry is getting a good run as a heel. Hopefully that continues because that's kind of been enjoyable for me. Other than that, the show is really, really bad. One of the worst. One of the worst ones, I feel.
Yeah, uh, definitely. You don't have to give a grade. I know you're gonna say D minus.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe I could give it like a D, maybe. But if I know you just said you don't have to. But if you were putting it into my head, I guess I would just give it a D.
All right. Well, listen, we basically covered everything. The only thing we have is from last night is SmackDown. If you saw
Yeah,
some of it, we could talk about that too. This was the latest show from July 28th, yesterday. Um,
yeah, yeah. I
you
did
wanna
see that.
you
I
wanna hit a couple points before we take off?
Sure. The one thing I recall obviously is the bloodline angle that
Yeah, one last face off. It looks like.
it was a it was a face off between Roman and Jay. They had that opening segment and then which was fine, but basically the same stuff that's already been said though.
Yeah.
The bottom line is Jay feels confident that he can beat Roman because he already pinned him at the pay per view tag match that they had, right? So he was like, I already pinned you, so I could beat you again. And I'm gonna be the tribal chief and the champion, basically, right? And then Jay had that match at the end of the night with
Grayson Waller.
Grayson Waller. I was about to call him Grayson Wagner. That's how much I
Yeah.
care about that guy.
Yeah.
Um,
No. Yeah. I don't, the match itself was whatever. The angle leading up to it with their backstage altercation, whatever. And then yeah,
yeah,
Roman showed up to watch.
yeah. And
Um.
then poor Solo keeps getting super kicked. Like I said, he got super kicked again, which is odd because the guy has been right, like he was dominating everybody before, but now the the Usos are keep getting over on him. But
Well,
then
the
Roman,
Usos would get over on him. I think they're over him. They're got more seniority.
that's true. But he has been getting like a really like strong build since his debut in the main roster, right? Like he's been like a monster type of person. So there's that. I don't know.
But the
But hey,
Usos are strong themselves, though, man. I mean, they're going up against
yeah,
Roman. Shit. So they're
yeah.
that.
No, I agree. I agree. I'm just saying that like poor Solo is getting super kicked quite frequently. Is the only point I'm making out.
Yeah, but in the
But
end, Roman was the one who left
yeah,
Jay laying on this
laying it.
night.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Him and
he
Solo eventually got over on him, and they did the spear and the spike move
all
twice,
right.
and that was that.
Yeah.
Was there anything else that you could think of from the show that was
Yeah, I
to me?
wanted to talk about a continuation of our story with LA Knight. Uh,
Yes, yes,
so this time he interrupts Hit Row,
yeah,
and which happened on a dark segment a couple weeks ago on SmackDown too. But
correct, yes.
anyway, so he has a match this time with the guy from Hit Row. Uh, what's his name? His name is shit. I can't remember his name. Ah, whatever. Though I know the one guy's Top Dollar. You don't know the other guy's name? Yes.
No, dude, I don't know the other guy's name, and I
So he got a
don't
win
care.
against the guy that we forgot his name. Um,
Yeah,
and he hit his finisher, which, correct me if I'm wrong, looks like a rock bottom followed by a stone cold stunner combination. Am I wrong or is this what his finisher is?
uh, I have to see it again. Honestly, this is not a match. I know I'm a big LA Knight fan, but I'm not like watching this specific. But I'll have to look at it again and see how it looked. But yes, it kind of did look a little bit like what you just described. So that was interesting. So that goes with a lot of the criticism that he gets, that he reminds people of The Rock and Stone Cold, and he's trying to copy some of their stuff, right? That's some of the criticism that he gets. But
Well, since it's the last thing we're talking about here tonight, uh, I kind of want to pull it up since you didn't see it and see if we
yeah,
could.
if you can show me the move, I will better judge it that way.
All right. Well, give me a second. Let me pull it up. All right. So I found the clip. Vlad, watch this. This is the finisher from last night's SmackDown. So here he goes.
Yeah,
He's gonna do that and then run the ropes, kind of like hit, people's
the
elbow,
people's
sort
elbow,
of,
right?
and then.
There's a sort of a stunner, but sort of like an RKO too, right? So it was a little bit of. So he does a little bit of both. Maybe
Okay.
he's playing. Is that has he? I mean, I'm sorry. I've been noticing LA Knight, but I haven't noticed a lot of his matches.
Yeah, because he
So
never actually hits his finisher to win the match. So
yeah, he doesn't. He hardly also wins exactly. So I don't know. Is this like a recent thing that he's doing that? Maybe since the criticism that he's been, or has he always been doing that as his finisher? Somebody could maybe let us know. Maybe that follows a little bit closer and been following his
yeah,
career a little bit closer.
yeah. I guess I can also do some research and find that out too. But
Sure, of course, of
I
course.
mean, for all the people who say he is a copycat of The Rock and Stone Cold, to have your two like a combo move that looks just like The Rock and Stone Cold's move, okay. I don't
Yeah,
mind it. I don't care. I like The Rock and Stone Cold. That's fine. I'm just saying
yeah,
it's interesting and it's kind of funny. But
yeah. Maybe he's playing off that he got the criticism, and maybe now that's become his finisher. I don't know.
we'll find out. We'll talk about it next week.
Yeah,
Anyways, I
absolutely.
think that's all we have to talk about other than Rey Mysterio's seemingly kayfabe injury that was
No, I read that it was a real injury, real injury. He got concussed during the match, but that's why they have to
oh
call it
yeah.
short.
Oh, okay. He couldn't take one tope suicida. He's that old.
Well, he landed on his head pretty bad from what I saw. Like he landed like right on the back of his head. Like it went, like
Concussion.
down, concussion city. He was in blackout city, but not in a good way. Not in
Well,
the
I
way
thought it
that it
was a
should be.
work. I thought it was a work way to kind of let Escobar win without actually
Sure.
winning, pinning
Oh,
him
without
or
having him
whatever.
beat Ray. I mean, that would make sense too, to be honest. But obviously, I'm not really understanding this booking as it is. Why is Escobar getting a title shot? But whatever.
Well, he's the next Latino guy, I guess. That they need
Yeah, yeah.
somebody
Well, I got that.
for the Latino community to buy T-shirts,
Yeah, but Escobar is not Rey Mysterio, obviously.
or
He doesn't
Eddie,
have the
or I don't know.
right, or any of those guys that were
But
the
I've seen
popular.
him do some cool things in NXT. Again, he doesn't really have a personality here on the main roster. He's just an LWO guy. He goes, oh, LWO, like okay, fine, just not
Yeah,
that
yeah.
good. But I think he can be all right. Other than that, Asuka, did you see that segment with her and Io Sky where they were talking English to each other?
I thought they were talking Japanese to each other.
No, they were trying to talk English to each other.
No, it first started in Japanese, right? I'm not going crazy.
For like
I
one
wasn't having a stroke.
line. Then they talked a bunch of
Oh.
English to each other, and
Well, and you
Asuka's.
couldn't understand a single word, right?
I
Either
sort
one
of
of you.
understood. I think Asuka was trying to tell her, "You better not cash in on me, or you're gonna regret it for the rest of your life."
Hmm.
And Io said she's walking out of SummerSlam as a champion,
Yeah,
no matter who wins,
yeah. I got
basically.
that part. I got that
But
part.
there you go. All right. Well, that's about that. I guess we're ready for SummerSlam. We've reached that point where it's enough build. There's an
Yeah,
extra SummerSlam show, extra SmackDown next week before
yeah.
SummerSlam.
They're correct.
Usually those are
Correct.
like, I don't even need to watch those, but whatever. Okay. So that's that. We're all caught up. We did it. Fuck,
We
so
did it.
many wrestling shows. I was hoping this show would be fucking 20 minutes. It turned into an hour. All right then.
Well, sorry about that, Gavin, but maybe you could cut some out and it'll be less, but we'll see.
All right, Vlad. Well, listen. Let me end this show right here. So anybody watching the Malapert Smarks, you know you're the man because you found the best wrestling podcast there is in the world. We'll see you next week.
Absolutely. See you next week, guys.